Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
Musician shot in Portland. A music artist was shot and injured by a gunman at a bar in Buff Bay, Portland on Saturday. The artist has since been admitted to hospital, while police have launched a search for the alleged shooter. Information reaching reporter is that around 12:55 p.m., the artist was inside the bar when a man who is reportedly known to him approached armed with a handgun and stood in front of the establishment. Police reported that the man fired 3 shots into the bar and then walked into the facility and fired 1 more shot, which caught the artist in the shoulder. The man then left the area on foot. Residents assisted the musician to hospital, where he was admitted. It is understood that the artist was visited by police at the hospital, but had indicated he did not wish to give a statement or engage in any court proceedings in relation to the matter. Despite this, the police initiated an investigation, which led them to a residence of the alleged shooter, but he was not seen. Bike men open gunfire on motorists in 2 parishes. Police are probing 2 separate incidents in which men on motorcycles opened fire on motor vehicles Friday night. Police say the first incident occurred around 7:15 p.m. in Strawberry District in Whitton, Westmoreland. It was reported that 2 persons were driving in a motor car when, upon reaching a section of the roadway, a motorcycle with 2 men on board rode up and the pillion opened gunfire at them. They managed to drive away without being injured and subsequently made a report to the police. Lawmen processed the scene and found 7 spent casing. A little over an hour later, the second incident occurred about 8:40 p.m. on Kirk Crescent near Barnett Street in Montego Bay, St. James. In the incident, the police said 3 people were traveling in a motor vehicle when a motorcycle rode up and the pillion opened gunfire at them and then made good his escape. None of the people in the vehicle were injured. Businessman injured in St. Andrew gun attack. A man who was freed of a murder charge recently was shot and injured by gunmen along the Golden Spring Main Road in St. Andrew Sunday morning. The man, a businessman from St. Andrew, has since been admitted to hospital in stable condition. It was reported that around 10:30 a.m., the now injured man was driving his vehicle along the roadway when a car heading in the opposite direction stopped and had its 4-way flashers on. Police said the businessman stopped and 2 men armed with handguns alighted from the motor car and opened fire on the vehicle, hitting him in the right hand and the right foot. The men then returned to their motor car and fled into the area. The injured man was escorted to hospital, where he was admitted. Portland man killed in 3-vehicle crash identified. The Corporate Communications Unit (CCU) has confirmed the identity of the passenger who was killed during a 3-vehicle collision in Portland on Saturday morning. The crash involved a trailer, a pickup, and a minibus. The deceased has been identified as 26-year-old Paul Johnson of Skipbo District in Buff Bay, Portland. 1 other person was treated at hospital and released, while another was being treated. The fatal accident was caught on CCTV. According to the police, 3 vehicles were traveling easterly on the Spring Gardens Main Road towards Port Antonio when the trailer collided with the rear of the pickup before crashing into the minibus. The impact of the collisions resulted in the 3 vehicles careening off the roadway. 3 people sustained injuries in the accident and were taken to hospital, where Johnson later died. Man stabbed to death in Discovery Bay. A man was stabbed to death in his community in Discovery Bay, St. Anne, on Saturday morning. The deceased has been identified as 38-year-old Gary Gardner, a machine operator of Adna Grass, Discovery Bay. Police report that around 9:30 a.m., Gardner was in his community when he was approached by an unknown assailant who stabbed him in the upper body multiple times. Police were called to the scene and, upon their arrival, found Gardner suffering from stab wounds. He was taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Supreme Court ruling concerning security guards takes effect. Following a ruling handed down by the Supreme Court last September, security guards providing services are now regarded as employees, not contract workers. The ruling was implemented on Saturday. However, there are still concerns about the terms of the new employment contracts offered by security companies, and based on this, some security guards have refused to sign. The guard said the companies warned that failure to sign the new contract would result in them not being able to allow to work. In an interview with reporters, the president of the Jamaica Association for Private Security Jobs, Teddy Gray, said the move is a bittersweet one. "This is a great day for security officers. We are officially employees after working like this for over 30 years. But the bitterness is not for some persons with years of service. Some security companies are forcing them to sign a one-year contract, but we are telling them, don't let anyone force you to sign." He has also called on the Minister of Labour to intervene in this matter.
Today, April 1st, is a great day for security officers. Bittersweet moment. We are officially secure employees. After being working for at least we're working for this at least for 30 odd years. So it's final. It's great that we're employees. Now the bitterness of this situation is that for persons with their years of service, most of these companies are basically forcing the security officers to sign their contracts, their one-year employment contracts. So that's the bitterness of this situation right now. But we are telling security officers, don't let anyone force you to sign. And truth be told, if security officers don't sign, obviously they cannot man their location by themselves. So there's power in numbers, and don't let them force you. I saw 2 contracts from 2 security companies where they're asking to waiver your rights in terms of your years of service. And I know I got a contract last night from a security company where, basically they're telling their officers that for them to work with a client, that they're basically contract is that they have to wait at least 6 months before they can join that client, that company. Or if they join that company, one of the options is that they will be fined 250,000, Jamaican dollar. So some of these contracts are very, I would advise no security to sign. Because a lot of security officers, they say what they're going to do if they don't sign because they're afraid to be out of a job. So we understand that cry from security officers. But the Minister of Labour at least needs to come out and say something on this matter. Or tell us where he's going with the Joint Industrial Council. Because the last time we heard about he talking about it Parliament some weeks ago, and he's saying he's working on it. But we need to know how far along is that coming.
Prime Minister announces additional $70 million for improvement works at Sangster's International Airport. The capabilities of the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James will be further boosted with an additional investment of $70 million. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the announcement on April 1 during a tour of the runway expansion projects at the airport. Mr. Holness explained that while $70 million has already been invested for the runway expansion works, the additional $70 million will target other areas of the airport.
I'm also pleased as well to report that another $70 million of investment will take place in the airport itself. Now, I'm sure that is where many Jamaica also see the benefits, because this is a major doorway into Jamaica, if you will, which many Jamaicans utilize. Right now, we are seeing significant bottlenecks in receiving passengers because there are some unique issues to do with this airport because of the travel times and the narrow windows for travel times. But generally, the facility here is outdated and well below the requirements and the necessary capacity. So $70 million will be invested in totally upgrading the airport.
Driver injured in Golden Spring gun attack. A man was injured in a gun attack along the main road in Golden Spring, St. Andrew. The incident happened sometime after 11 o'clock. According to eyewitnesses, the man was in his motor truck when he was attacked by men traveling in another vehicle. Residents reported they heard explosions and went to investigate. The driver was found slumped over his steering wheel. He was then rushed to hospital.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell.